Hello everyone. It's James again. And today, I want to talk about the chaos the narcissist creates in your life. And how they trick you into entering into such chaos. And staying there. Instead of doing the wise thing. And that is looking for the first way you can to exit the situation. Never to deal with such an individual ever again. First off, I want to say, the narcissist will come into your life, making you feel at ease. Here's a great example. I thought Susie, my ex, wasn't a very talkative person. And that she was very easygoing. And that she was shy. The reason is she didn't talk much in the beginning of getting to know her. Is because she was doing what narcissists or Terminator robots do. And that's learn everything they can about their target. So they can tell their target what they want to hear. And tailor their trickery to suck you in. And to get you to think they are a great person. And that they are either your friend. Or they love you. If it's a romantic relationship. She also didn't talk very much because she didn't want to slip up and show me who she really was. It's my belief, Susie. Like many of these learning computers. Terminators. Demons. Or whatever you want to call them. Will for the most part learn from their mistakes. And usually it's the inability to feel empathy. And the desire to hurt others when they are children. That leads them to doing really nutty things at school to where they get into trouble. And where they might lose friends. And instead of understanding they need to change. They figure out how to mask who they really are. So they are able to get along in society. Without others catching on to what they really are about. And so they can sucker a possible victim into their web as well. It was so funny to hear Susie's boss and co-workers at her job say how quiet and easygoing she was. And though I know she faced narcissistic injury on a daily basis. At work. Here, there and everywhere. She learned how to bottle it up. And how to say nothing back. But it's the skill she and some other narcissists develop that make you the nice decent person think, wow, I've found a good person. They are shy, quiet, and enjoyable to be around. Well, I'm here to tell you this is all an act of the narcissist. You see, there are narcissists that are loud. And they just don't care who hears them. They want to be the center of attention. These are the overt narcissists. That being said, these overt narcissists can employ covert tactics to abuse their victim. Some narcissists over time learn how to be reserved. To get others to overlook them when it comes to poor behavior. They will be seen as the quiet one. Nice. Shy. But when they start to abuse you, they will sound just like Susie. Ruthless. Mean. Overtly nasty. And with the mouth and attitude of a demon. But again, like I mentioned, it doesn't start out like that. It's this calming feeling of peace you feel when you are with such a person. Then they run their narcissist do test on you. Where they might out of nowhere will go from 0 to 200 miles an hour in a second. This once mild-mannered person is now in the car yelling at you. Cursing at you for being 10 minutes late to pick them up for dinner. They are calling you every name in the book. And calling you a cheater and anything else they can call you. To lure you into defending yourself for something you know and they know you didn't do. If anything, it's something they've been doing since the very first day they met you. Please know. These narcissists are cheating on you. I don't care if they are attractive and in shape. Or if they are what one would consider as unattractive and overweight. They are cheating on you. Please know and believe it. But it's this very action of the do test. Where they lure you into defending yourself. Is where usually the chaos begins. You see, if your life is in chaos. And you are constantly thrown off balance, you can't think. You can't process what's going on. And make sound choices. At least before you had this information. And that's what these demons want. Such as they will throw out an ex's name. While talking to you. Just to spark an argument. They will Go somewhere they know is disrespectful for them to go while in a relationship, such as a nightclub, hoping to get you to blow up their phone by calling and leaving voicemail after voicemail to talk to them. Chaos. Chaos. And all this chaos starts in the brain. These demons literally play with your body's chemistry by getting you so high with love, to the point where your body is addicted to this feeling. Then to throw a chaotic situation in the mix, like several car crashes happening in the middle of the street, and you are needing to run on foot in between these crashes to get that loving feeling back. Now I want to backtrack a second. This is why those that grew up in what we call healthy homes, a mother and father that literally love their child and children. No one is perfect, but at the end of the day they love their children, and they are always working in the best interests of that child's life. And guess what? That child feels it. And if they have brothers and sisters, and the parents raised these children to protect one another, guess what? This child or children will have this chemical high their entire life, full of energy and ready to go. And if someone creates chaos in their life, they don't have to cross a dangerous street to get back this good and wonderful tingle in their brain and body. They just go back home. It's that simple. They make a phone call to their brother or sister, or their grandmother or grandfather, and with one phone call or visit they are back in business, back to their old self. However, if you don't have that, you might risk to cross that dangerous street to get that feeling back. Because if you were raised like I was raised, and that's without love, and by a manipulator, and someone doing everything in their power to destroy your life, when you meet someone that acts like they care, it can be overwhelming in a good way. Or so it seems. And when these demons change on a dime, you crash hard and are willing to do anything you have to do to get that feeling back. And that's the trick. This is where they drag or trick you rather into chaos. Well, at first it's a trick. Then it might be done by force, such as putting you at legal risk, or in situations where your life is in danger. Take a look back at your time with the narcissist you were or are with. Once the mask slipped, your sleep is always off. You're always tired. You feel like you're always on a hamster wheel. You're always arguing about things that literally make no sense. Neighbors get to hear you fight day and night. And then you have to walk with your head down in shame when you walk outside and your neighbor is watering his or her lawn. They might switch up to being overt and fighting with you at the grocery store so you will be embarrassed. And they will do it in such a way you will look like the one that started it. The blood pressure is up. And your health is down. Your mind is always racing. Because of the chaos. It's a never-ending hamster wheel of chaos. And at times they might throw you a bone and pretend the chaos has stopped. You feel like you're getting a day's rest. And then tomorrow the chaos comes back at you 3 times as hard this time. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Now I want to backtrack again. What if this person didn't do all of this? What if they were normal? You guys could have had a stress-free productive life, where you were helping each other succeed. I've thought about that. I've said to myself, what in God's name did they think would come from this? It's just like a nasty devastating earthquake where there is all this damage and everyone is running for their lives. But in this scenario, the damage is being done to you. And the only one running for their life is you. And sadly the running part, within regards to you, during many of these chaotic events is into battle. Is into their earthquake. Instead of trying to get out of town. Because you are doing what? You are chasing that high. That feeling of love that we finally felt someone on this earth had for us. And the narcissist sees this. They see you are running through all of this chaos just to get back to that stage where they were love bombing you. And they know you have no one that loves you. And they know what they are having you run through isn't worth to get the fake love they were giving you. But they see you running through this maze anyways. And they just keep on upping the danger factor. They keep adding more stresses and more difficulties to this maze they've set up for you. And when you get too tired to run, and your health fades, and you feel like you can't move anymore, and you're not entertaining them anymore. Because trust me, all of this is entertainment for the narcissist. They will force you and drag you into chaos. By legal threats. Or physical violence. And I will say it again. Both women and men narcissists can and do this to their victims. But we still live in a society where the victim of abuse and these domestic violence posters and commercials is always shown to be a woman with a black eye, when men are beat at the same rate. I want to mention this really quick. And I might do a video about this guy if I can remember his name. But there was a man in, I believe, England several years ago. And I remember watching his story several years ago. Right around when I first started my channel. And this man, I believe, in England, suffered boiling water thrown on him, hit with hammers and screwdrivers, to the point where he is permanently disfigured and physically ruined, and no doubtly emotionally wrecked. So when you hear about women horribly being abused by men, trust and know this very thing happens to men at the hands of women. And men have zero help, and often stay in such situations longer because there's no one for them to call for assistance. Something to think about. But back to what I was saying. Narcissists oftentimes will escalate to physical violence because they've tested you out and know, or at least feel they can get away with it. They know you still love them, and you have no love for yourself, and you will continue on trying to work it out. But when your health has failed, you can barely stand up, you're throwing up blood in the morning, and dealing with ulcers from the stress, you are unable to respond to their chaos. They will beat you, like a master beats a wounded horse or donkey, to keep on moving and performing whatever task this master wants out of his or her animal. And what usually happens is the animal one day doesn't wake up. The animal dies. Or the animal is out in the field and has a heart attack, and dies while it's working for its master. This is what the narcissist does to their victim. And when they are done, they move on to another victim, using the same tricks, yet tailoring them to their new victim. And before you know it, they launch chaos all around this person, hoping this new victim will run through this chaotic maze just like you did. And there's a heck of a lot of men and women and children dying because of such abuse. Now again, that being said, we have a thing in Western culture, where we almost in a proud way say that men die earlier than women, as if to say that women are somehow the stronger sex. But no one will dare stand up and say that men are often mistreated in our society, to where they lose their children more times than not in divorces. They lose their money, or what little they have in divorce, and are oftentimes forced into poverty and to work 10 times harder to support his ex-wife and his children that have been turned against him that he doesn't see. Now this isn't to downplay for a second that women can't and don't suffer these same problems, because they do. But as I've mentioned before, this system, this modern twisted system, isn't designed for the honest woman. It's designed for the narcissist woman. And if you are a good woman doing things on the up and up, and you get steamrolled by the system, those that created it think you're stupid for being honest. Because the truth is, if you chose tomorrow to go the way of the narcissist, you could have your entire life paid for. You could trap this guy, and trap that guy, and take them for everything they have. And again, though women do find themselves on the short end of the stick because they are honest and decent, men aren't dying at a higher rate than women, and killing themselves at a higher rate than women because they are weaker. They are dying at a higher rate and killing themselves at a higher rate than women, because once they've figured out this person they were with is really a demon, and they try to exit the chaos, The demon forces them back into the chaos by the way of the police and the court system. And they chain this victim to themselves and the legal system for what seems to be an eternity. To come up with money they don't have. And to live without the love of their own children. Again. Do women go through this? Yes. The honest ones. But sadly our system favors the woman that is the narcissist. And that's why you see 70% of divorces are filed by women. And 90% of women get custody of their children. Those numbers, along with statements such as men die at higher rates than women. And men kill themselves 3 times more than women, go hand in hand. That being said, no matter if the narcissist is your parents, or you're dealing with a person you were or are dating, or a person you were or are married to, no matter if you are a man or woman, the narcissist is slowly tricking you to run headfirst into their chaotic world. And the moment you figure out what's going on, they might employ violence to keep you into this chaotic world. Or threats. Here's a great one. Have you ever heard? If you don't meet with me right now, I'm going to call your work. Or I'm going to call all of your friends. And usually these threats happen when you no longer want to run headfirst into their chaos. But they still want you in that chaos. It feeds them. And how dare you take away their entertainment and narcissistic supply? So if they don't use violence, they will threaten to ruin your career. They will use blackmailing tactics to get you to enter back into their mud pit. This is what they do. This is why early detection and self-love is so important. You see, narcissist might follow you around a little bit if you've only been with them a few months. If you don't deal with their crap. But usually they will move right on to the other target they are working on. Because in this stage they are usually trying to see who's going to respond to their narcissistic do tests the best. And if you're not responding and someone else is, you usually can get away from this monster without a problem. But when they've been with you a long time, and you start to figure things out, and you start to pull away from their circus and chaos, they will use every threat they can to get you to get right back into their mud pit. So this is why taking stock in your relationship every so often, observing behaviors and actions, listening carefully, having fun still but not getting swept up by the moment. You see, many of us didn't know we were getting manipulated by the chemicals in our brain. We had no idea what and why this feeling was happening. But now we do. And since we do, we need to be able to take a step back and say, okay, what's going on here? I'm 10 minutes late to pick this person up for dinner. And this once mild-mannered, kind-hearted person has turned into a dragon or demon from the pit of hell, accusing me of all kinds of untruths. You know, I don't care what kind of fake apology this demon might give me later. Because there won't be a later. I don't care if this person had a bad day. Or bad month. Or whatever their malfunction is. I'm going to step back from the good feeling I had for the first few months. Take it for what it is. And exit. I'm not going to debate this person. However, I'm going to make sure I'm safe before I let this person know I'm done with them. I will tell you this. Once someone has done such a thing to you, don't ever let them in your home again. Or in your car. Because they can and might do something to put your safety and your freedom at risk, because they have now shown themselves. They will bring a chaotic situation to your life. But if someone acts like this to you once, instead of telling them off, just make excuses to not be able to see them. You are busy helping an elderly aunt or uncle. You're busy with this new class you're taking in school and you need to study. Or you are doing overtime working from home if they stop by. Don't let them in. Tell them you are on the clock and you have to work. And bid them goodbye. Eventually they will get the hint and deal more with their other targets. And at some point they will probably leave you and tell you so. In which you can wish them luck. And rest easy because they are gone. Now this isn't to say you can't break up with someone like this. Because you can. But if you feel like they are bringing chaos into your life, and it scares you, which it should, you need to be aware if you try to break up with such a person, it can go a couple of different ways. They can just act like it's no big deal and move on to one of their other targets. Or they can show up on your doorstep. And if they do that, don't let them in. And call the police and have them removed from your property if need be. But in such a situation, you are the one in control. From the word go, you realized their first chaotic episode they showed was and is a problem. And you took the right steps to be free. And no longer be around the chaos. And if they bring the chaos to your doorstep, a door you don't open, all the while they are pounding on it, call the police. You've done nothing wrong. Get a restraining order that next day or that day if you can. If it comes to that, doing things right in the beginning is a lot easier to do. Instead of getting sucked into these demons' chaotic lives. And you're married. Or living together. Or you have property together. Or you have children together. Then you wake up and try to leave. Because it's a lot harder. And the narcissist will use all of their time, energy, and resources to bring more chaos to your life. And literally ruin you. These demons aren't going to change, so don't try to reason with them. Don't try to see it their way. Don't try to get them help. Because if you do, you will be little by little putting your leg or arm, or neck deeper and deeper into the narcissist's trap. And that means chaos and an early death for you. That being said, if you call the police, especially if you are a man, be super careful. Make sure you have all of your ducks in a row. In case she claims rape or something of the sort. This is very, very serious stuff right here. Well, that's all I have for now. I thank all of you for your subscriptions. And working hard sharing my videos to reach the goal of helping out as many people as possible. Here's the facts. The world is what it is. But there are some people in this wicked world that don't know what the heck is going on. And some of these people, when they hear such information, willfully will remain asleep. And then there are some that will wake up, and before you know it, they are on the journey of self-betterment. And no longer living the way of the narcissists that are surrounding them wants them to live. Because this way is designed for the narcissist to gain narcissistic supply. And for the victim to self-destruct. So thank you for sharing. I do appreciate it. Also, if you haven't clicked the little bell, so you can be notified each and every time I make a new video. And thanks for the likes. Because the more you like my videos, or other videos you enjoy, it helps put these videos to the forefront of YouTube. And gives others out there a chance to accidentally find this material when they might not have had such a chance before. With that being said, keep eating from the tree of life. Keep praying for wisdom and strength. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.